Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. And I also want to start by saying that I'm very happy to be here in Morocco as we are preparing for the 2023 annual meetings in Marrakesh later this year. One of the topics that we would like to discuss in these meetings is the inclusive growth in the Middle East and North Africa. As you may remember, in 2010 and 2011, we have had the Arab uprisings, and at that time, there were calls for more inclusion, more voice, justice, and bread and jobs. If you remember, these were the slogans that they were used. And what we realized at that time, that if the benefits of growth are not reached equally, reached to the whole city, to the whole population, and all citizens do not benefit equally from the benefits of development, growth cannot be sustainable, and inclusion is an important element. Of course, if we look back now, we don't see the progress we would have had hoped at that time. We thought there will be setbacks, but then we thought there will be further progress. But it is not very few countries have made some progress in this area, in thinking of new models of development, including Morocco, but many others have had challenges. And of course, the shocks that came from between the pandemic and the war in Ukraine, the drought, also climate-related shocks in the region. And even before that, there were some terrorist attacks, so conflict-related shocks or security-related shocks. These have also played an important role. But if I want to say is that what was important would have been good to have the commitment, the ownership at the highest level for reforms, to have the national dialogue, which is a key ingredient for reform, and communication to the broader public to explain the benefits and the costs of these reforms in order to make progress on those. We have not seen those as much as we would like. I would say that maybe the challenge, maybe I can start with the challenges, but then I will want to close with the positive. The challenges were in places where countries or country authorities or policymakers felt that the rent economies or the role of the public sector was still to provide jobs, goods, and services. In fact, what was important was to move from this world to providing opportunities, and of course, as well as social protection and social support to the population in terms of investing in education, health, and social protection. Not to provide jobs, not to provide generalized subsidies to gain social peace, because first, these are not sustainable. They blow the fiscal accounts, they reduce the space for the more important investments in education and health and social protection that are more lasting and more needed for the private sector to flourish. So this is where we saw a lot of challenges. But we also saw some good positive examples, and here I can mention, for instance, the example of Morocco, during the pandemic, where there was a lot of solidarity, and this was because of the communication between the government and the population in order to provide the needed support to go through this shock, to contribute to this. And Morocco was one of the countries which used the social protection very quickly to help its population, and this was a very important element. Now, Morocco is also aware of the need to take a second stage of reforms, and they developed the new model of economic development, which we hope to be implemented, because this could also take Morocco to a next stage of progress.